Hello guys, my Facebook family, my YouTube family, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all those other social medias to come. I'm Dr. Priscilla. I am a native English speaker and I live in the US. The purpose of this YouTube video today is to just give you some general information. There are lots of questions bouncing around. Which is better, British English or American English? Let me start out by saying that I speak American English. When you ask an American which is better, British English or American English, from my point of view, I would say that's a sexy way or a way of trying to find a reason not to do something. This is what I've found when some students ask which is better. If I were to say British, oh, but it's so difficult. If I say American, oh, it's so difficult. The focus then becomes on choose one that you're really willing to stick with and learn. There is no shortcuts to learning English. Just as whatever native language it is that you speak, I'm sure that there are many people in your country that doesn't necessarily sound like you, but it has a standard name. It isn't British English versus American English. It is whatever your native language is without a word coming before it. So this is what I want to tell you. If you need to study for an exam, if you need to prepare for research in a university apart from the United States, much of the material that you will read may have the spelling of the British. And I'll talk about some of the vocabulary words in another session, but not in this session because it could go on and on and on. There are probably enough words that will fill up an entire book with words that are spelled differently in American English versus British English. And there are equally a number of definitions of words in English and British that are different, and they actually have different meanings. So I would suggest that your focus is determine what your purpose is for studying either one. For example, if you know that you're going to take an exam and there will be some evidence of writing, reading, if you want to study the British English, I would say I can understand why you might want to do that because spelling does count when you're taking one of those exams. If you misspelled a word or your answer choice is incorrect because of spelling, it is just as wrong as if you knew the meaning, but you misspelled it. So it would be wrong. So for that reason, you would need to know the spelling and the right usage of words. If you're learning English versus British English, American English versus British English for the sake of conversation, that's different. I can almost assure you that everyone that speaks English, British English or American English, can understand each other very well, even with the accent. I oftentimes think when I hear it that students are thinking about the accent versus British English or American English. That is two different things. You have an accent. If you're not a native English speaker, you will always have an accent. Even I have an accent, and this isn't going to change, even if I were to learn your language. Let me change and say this. Yes, with extensive training, I can change my accent. You will see this a lot of times in American movies. You will see that or listen to an American speak with an accent that is so remarkable that one would think if they didn't see the person, that that person was not an American, but from the country from which he or she is speaking. So I do want to point out that it is important that you recognize that there are different ways of spelling specific things, but you don't need to know all of this if this is for conversational English. If you're having conversational English, you're not spelling what you're saying, you are speaking it. If you are reading and you come across words that you have studied for in American English and they sound or they appear to be spelled differently, in British English, they may very well be spelled correctly. And we can talk about those words or some of those words in another lesson. So the key point that I want to say is understand why you are learning the English. Is it for educational purposes? Are you trying to get into a university? Most universities outside of the United States do use the British grammar and the structure for writing. So it's important that you understand those if that is why you're studying. But if you're trying to just perfect your conversational English, then either English will do fine. Let's see, the last thing that I wanted to point out is that do not make learning English, do not make it out to be something that is confusing. First, decide if you are lazy and you are looking for an excuse not to do something. I will say, try not to learn both at the same time. Decide which one you want to study for. Focus on that. Choose yourself one or two coaches that speak the same language, either British English or American English. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one you choose. You can make that transition to the other one at a later date if this is what you wish to do. So again, decide that you want to learn English, decide that you are not going to be lazy, and you will master it. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave comments below. Let me know what lesson you would like for me to create and prepare for you, and I will do so, or I will try my best to do so, and I will post it here in the YouTube channel. By subscribing to the YouTube, you're helping me to promote and create additional videos. I'm Dr. Priscilla. It is my pleasure to share with you the information today about British English versus American English. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.